hey, whether your team scores or not, there's always another way to play the game. Play Gun Lake. Oh, Play Gun Lake online casino and sportsbook app. Hang on, I got to put on my cap for this. It is from Bet Parks, and this is my Detroit nice. Football cap. I'll tell you more about this in a moment. It is from Bet Parks, and it's the only app that I ever use and recommend. Detroit Pro Football has won 6 straight games. Get some skin in the game. Bet sports and play all your favorite casino games for real money on the Play Gun Lake online casino and sportsbook app. Play blackjack, play poker, play roulette, and hot online slots while watching the game and make your downtime fun time. Remember, when I was in Grand Rapids, I went all in on Detroit to win it all.
Yes, you did.
I'll have a real conundrum on my hands if it ends up being like Philadelphia and Detroit battling it out for the NFC title. But I'll have to go back just to collect all my loot in Michigan. I'm looking forward to that. Play hot online slots based on the popular TV shows Breaking Bad and Peaky Blinders. PlayGunLake.com for all the details. They've got special deals there for new users, deals that have to be wagered for new users only. You got to be 21, and in Michigan, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Kinda from the Thursday edition of the newsletter, I want to talk about last night. New concept, Parks Casino. It really went well. This was not a mingle project per se. We were mingling. This was not a mingle project though. And you know, my good friend Mike Baldini, who was the catalyst for me to go to Parks last night, asked me if I wanted to do a mingle presentation there. I'm like, I don't know that a mingle presentation suits the casino environment.
Okay.
And they have the Excite Center. It's 1,000 seats, big venue. But I said, Mike, you know, I have had this idea, this concept, something that I might want to kick the tires on and try out, which is a night of storytelling. And he wanted to pair the evening with cigars, 4-course meal, and storytelling. And we did it. And I got to say, TC, it really worked. And by the way, for the benefit of people who are watching on YouTube, you're now seeing what it looked like. Look, you see there I am?
So cool.
It's me with a cigar.
So cool. What a neat space.
It's me with a cigar, a music stand, and a microphone.
What more do you need?
And on the music stand, I've got some notes for 9 different stories.
And by the way, that's a good-looking crowd.
Yeah.
The whole thing, it just looked lively and interesting and fun and
check
intimate.
it out.
And there's food being brought around, and that's just fun.
So I spoke, 4-course meal. You'll not be surprised. I never had a morsel of food. It looked so good because
did you
when
at least
I walked
have
in,
a drink?
Yes, I did. And I greeted everybody, and then I spoke for an hour, and then afterwards we went out to a patio and had cigars together.
I love
There's
this
this great still image of me with all of the gang
so that
who
was
hung out
that
after.
was the thumbnail of the YouTube, which is why I said, what a good-looking crowd. Holy moly. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was great. Randy, put up the, there you go. Okay, so here we are afterwards.
Yeah, that's
just
really
a bunch
cool.
of listeners hanging out, mingling.
Yeah.
It was great. Now, I got to tell you a couple of funny things.
Please.
First of all, people traveled. There was a couple from Wisconsin.
Come on.
There was a couple from Dallas.
What?
Do you see my hat?
Yes.
This is the part you're going to really get a kick out of. So I am wearing, the Detroit Lions cap because a couple came from Grand Rapids and they gave me this hat. I love this hat, by the way.
Hat.
This is a great hat. I'm wearing it proudly. Here's the funny part of the story. I was in Los Angeles most recently, I guess last month.
Yeah, I think so.
And
when you were everywhere.
So I had saved, this is nerdy and funny. I had saved an LA Times feature in my computer, which had a Santa Monica tour of Curb Your Enthusiasm locales.
Got it.
And I had it in the back of my mind that if I had some downtime, it'd be fun for me, solo, just drive around and see, I love Larry David and I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, just to see some of the locations, like the exterior of what is supposed to be Larry's house.
Yes.
Like, I would do something like that.
I get it.
I never did it.
Right.
Didn't have time. The couple from Grand Rapids flew in just for the cigar event at Parks Casino.
Love them.
And now I'm going to have to put this together in a formal way. They pursued a tour of their own relative to this program, including visiting Steven Singer,
Love this.
And eating lunch at Jaime's.
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. You could do a whole day of it. You
Right.
could go to you could go to Doylestown Elementary. You could do
Doyle Elementary to you, please.
Right. You could do Doylestown. You could do all the Philly sites.
Right.
Go to
Did they eat the schmucker?
Oh,
I don't know if they ate the schmucker. I don't know. And by the way,
had to, Dan.
Lewis is getting a free ride because Steven Singer has been a supporter of this program for 3 decades. Lewis Barson and Jaime's. Okay, like let's go. Get in.
Ring, ring.
Hello. Yeah. But isn't that funny?
That's amazing. I love them.
So now I'm thinking of creating something for 2025 on the website.
It's got to be a purple bus tour.
Well, I don't know. I'm not doing a tour. I got enough on my plate.
Bus.
No, but I'm just saying, like, to make it easy for people who are so inclined, because we talk about food and fun things to do.
Oh my gosh!
Cheat sheet.
What other food places would you have them visit?
I have to think about it, but it's a cheat sheet for radio tourists who come to Philly.
Love this. Yes, I'm in.
Isn't that funny?
Yes, and yes.
People were so nice. So nice.
Does not surprise me.
Now, here, one other thing, if I may. The speaking that I do is twofold, TC. There are the speeches that I do for gatherings of radio listeners and television viewers. Oh, are we going to the close-up on my cap? There we go. There we go.
Hello.
There are the speeches that I do to people who are familiar with what goes on this radio program. There are speeches that I do to private groups. I am speaking this weekend in Colorado. People last night said to me, we want to come to the Colorado speech. Like they want to travel. And
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I said, no, it's a private gig. I'm speaking to a convention of state representatives. Are you still with me on this? I need your concentration.
I'm talking to you too.
Don't talk to them now. So this is just a good example. This weekend, I'm traveling across country because the opportunity to speak to a gathering of state legislative leaders from all across the country. That's pretty ideal for the mingle.
Timely, too.
I want to do that.
Good.
I want to do that.
Good.
But when I speak to those audiences, I walk in assuming no one knows who I am. I'm a blank slate.
Okay.
So I can't do the kind of insider storytelling for the radio audience to state legislators.
Last night was an insider group.
Right.
Right.
So my point is, what I'm thinking about is last night really went well.
Okay.
And I'm thinking I can continue to do this and mix up the stories. This would be solely for radio audiences.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Like Sirius XM listeners would enjoy it based on what happened last night.
Well, I mean, wasn't it kind of a tryout? Like, am I going to continue doing this? And the answer is.
And they knew that. They knew that. Right. I walked out. I put some notes in front of me. And I just was like,
hit the ground running,
winging it through, 9 different stories.
Well, that's the best
Some
kind.
Longer than others.
Right.
Yeah. And it was funny.
How were the stories received?
The stories were very well received. And I said at a certain point, I'm not going to tell you this story because TC, cautioned against it. And then there was a roar from the crowd, like, tell it. And they loved that story.
I'm sure they did.
They loved that story. During the course of that story.
I'm interested in exactly how you told it.
Okay, so during the course of that story, I'm keeping an eye on the audience, and I see a woman in the back corner pulls out her phone.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, I stopped. And I said, I'm not telling this story if you're recording it. And she said, it's a still image. I'm like,
hilarious.
Okay, that's all right.
That's hilarious.
They all had the right attitude.
I love it.
They were there for just like a night of fun.
I tell you, I could tell from that picture.
Yeah.
I could tell from the picture that everybody was just in it for exactly why you were hoping they would be
and
there.
The Parks people all had a great attitude
so
as
glad.
well. And they just bent over backwards to create this incredibly looking meal.
Wow. You assume it was good.
I assume it
you
was
have
good.
No
You
idea.
didn't get leftovers.
I said that, Dan. I said, did you bring a baggie? Like something?
I walked in and I greeted everybody in the room.
Wow.
Because it was a small crowd and I was able to do that. And then
so
I
nice.
spoke and then we hung out and that's the way that it was.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So.
Okay. About last night.
Fun times. Headlines from the real headlines now from the Thursday edition of the newsletter. The poll question today, it's going to be lopsided. That's okay. Ellie Honig, great guest. It's a worthy question. Agree or disagree, it's time to drop all the criminal cases against Donald Trump. Go cast your ballot on that. Of course, most notably is the Alvin Bragg decision in terms of what's going to go on with the hush money payment case. But there's a USA Today story in the newsletter today. Trump wants all cases dismissed. Of course he does. Thomas Goldstein wrote an essay that I was reading from yesterday. Yesterday's poll result, we had 29,455 votes cast. This is interesting. The margin expanded as the day progressed. Should Joe and Mika have visited Mar-a-Lago? 54.15% said no, 45.85% said yes.
It was expanding during the show, but you kept quoting what you saw in the very
200.
First, the 200. And I was just telling you how many, but I saw.
Right.
It was ticking up.
Right. Plenty of coverage in the newsletter today about Matt Gaetz, the decision of the ethics committee so far not to release the report. But I mean, what does it even matter when you've got the whole report having now been revealed and a New York Times, graphic showing where all his Venmo payments went? It's remarkable. And then meanwhile, the police report from Monterey, 22 pages of it having been released relative to Pete Hegseth. So a lot of attention relative to those two nominations by former President Trump. But the biggest controversy of all is probably the meal face-off. This revealed yesterday in my social media. TC is a foodie. I am not. I like the basics. She likes a highly dressed plate. And
I like it all. To be clear, I like it all.
It just so happens that we both photographed a meal
Correct.
that we enjoyed this week.
That's true.
And like this is a psychiatrist could have a field day just looking at our respective plates.
So you can see the pictures on all social media, but
right now.
You describe your meal and I'll describe mine, and then we'll get to the comments.
Okay, so my meal is a chicken cutlet. I mean, like very basic, a breaded chicken cutlet with a long hot draped over it, and then shards of provolone. Shards of provolone.
Chunks.
That's what you're going with?
And then a lemon slice, little garnish. And that is my meal. And now as I would eat that, can we show that, my meal? As I would eat that, I just want you to know, and you can see my knife there. Oh my God, I just swallowed. There, thank you. Thank you, Randy. There's my meal. So the way I would eat this, I want you to know, is I squeeze the lemon over everything on the plate.
Ah, okay, good, yes.
And then I would slice a small piece of chicken cutlet and some long hot and part of the shard of the provolone.
Oh.
I want the combo of all three, and I'd have to remove my hat if I had a hat on at the time,
Sweating.
like my Detroit hat, because those long hots, I love them, but they make my head sweat.
Of course they do.
But to me, all kidding aside,
Yeah.
that meal that you're now looking, if you're watching on YouTube, is a 10. For me, that's as good as it gets.
Wow.
Your comments, please.
My comments on your meal?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that looks like I would eat that. I would definitely eat that. I would maybe eat a little less of the cheese. I think I would like a little sauce maybe. But I think that would be delicious. I have no problem with your meal. I just think it's really funny that the sort of chunks of cheese on top of it.
Go ahead, Dan.
Did you grow the long hot yourself?
No. I ate this at a South Philadelphia restaurant on Sunday night. That was
okay.
And it's rare for me to photograph my plate. But when that was dropped in front of me, I pulled out my phone, and the place where I was discourages photographs and social media.
You had to quickly do it.
But I just snuck that image in there. The comments are very, very well. Let's show your meal. Let's show your meal by contrast.
My meal is a butternut squash broth. So people thought those were carrots. No, those are balls of butternut squash around it.
It looks like a painting.
Red snapper with uni, like a sea urchin roe on top of it, and then like pistachios and deliciousness. It was.
I mean, look at all the stuff on there, though. TC,
it's so good. It's so
and
good.
It just seems like
amazing.
Thank you, Dan. It was incredible.
Dan, it looks like something you'd see on the wall at MoMA. I mean, it's like a painting.
It is that beautiful. You eat first with your eyes, Michael. You eat first with your
Where
eyes.
did you hear that?
Yes. Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Where did you hear that?
Why do you first with your eyes?
That is legit.
That's hysterical.
That is legit a thing. Yes. Yes. And that is so. It was so good, and it was also really healthy.
So was mine. So is mine.
Yes.
I'm telling you, these two images sum us up. That is everything you need to know about this program.
I think the one important thing that you need to know is I would eat yours too. You would not eat mine.
I would nibble on it.
Absolutely.
I would nibble on it.
Eat yours too.
Yeah, I would nibble on it.
It looks great. I would like I think I would like it with some red sauce.
Any of the comments?
Oh my gosh!
Interest
the
you
comments
from
are
social
hysterical.
media?
So it was on Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
Let me just give you an example because they were hysterical. So for instance, on Facebook, Heidi said, "I listen so I know, but I agree with you, Michael. Yours looks better." Jim said, "You know in your heart that quarter pounder with fries or a Big Mac would be much better than these highfalutin dishes." Carol said, "Whatever is the thing on the left looks disgusting, so I'm guessing it's Michael's." Mark says TC is a good North Carolina mahi girl, and Mikey Cutlet's brother will be starting for the Giants Sunday.
Can I tell you my favorite comment?
Yes.
It was a person named Urba J. I don't know. Michael, your meal may have tasted good, but that picture makes it look like a high school cafeteria meal.
How about Ernie, who said Michael's looks like a caveman prepared it?
I love that. I took that as a compliment. But when I read about the cafeteria,
You were like, yeah, that's why I like it.
I loved cafeteria food
Right.
in school.
But that's what people
loved
don't understand. That is why you like it. You're like, I don't want sauce. I don't want garnish. I don't want anything extra. Me,
Right.
I'm like, I would like sauce. I don't need it sauce artfully designed. When I cook for myself, I have sauce on the side or on top, but I love a sauce or a salsa or a garnish or something just to round it out.
Nothing frustrates me more than going to an Italian restaurant where they feel obliged, like they feel like they just can't serve you a good pasta and marinara sauce. And so instead, they've got to like load up the plate with a lot of things that I have no interest in.
Like what?
I don't know.
Well, you can order pasta and red sauce almost anywhere.
And I find myself saying, "May I just have some angel hair and a marinara sauce, please?" Oh my God. And yes, we would like the bread. Yes, those people who don't want the bread, bring that bread over here. We'll take the bread. That's why I spend time with Leanne Hainsby.
Okay, why?
Because I want to be able to eat
and drink.
I want to be able to eat and drink.
She's on her honeymoon right now.
She is?
Yeah, they're in Africa.
Wait a minute.
They're on safari.
What did I do with her yesterday?
Well, it wasn't
I did a
live,
disco
Michael.
ride.
It
I did a
wasn't live.
No, but it was pretty recent. I did
Right.
a 30-minute disco ride with
Yeah.
her yesterday before I went to Parks.
Yeah.
Something else. I told you about the people who came from Wisconsin and the people who came from Michigan, the people who came from Texas. Now it occurs to me there was also this nice couple from Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
And they too were radio tourists. And they went looking for fatty jeans.
Oh, someone
Nick's
commented.
roast beef.
Someone
but,
commented on
but
fatty
they,
jeans.
they went to a different. They're all good. It's all fine.
Bravo 72. Neither of these looks like fatty jeans.
So right, but the point is, if I do the radio tourist,
You got to do that.
I'm gonna have to put fatty jeans at 19th and Jackson.
Perfect.
So that people know which one to go to.
Oh, got to be the right one.
Yeah.
Okay, so what
I
is
can
our...
see this. There will be pictures.
Yes.
There will be images.
Yes. It'll be like diners, drive-ins, and dives where everyone goes and visits every spot. People will be like, "I've gone to all the
I'll make
spots.
you this offer.
Okay.
I will make you this offer, and don't feel obliged to accept it. But if we pursue this for 2025, you could make this a new TC After Dark.
Yes. Yes.
And we'll visit the locations.
Yes, you're on.
Right?
Yes.
What do you think?
I love it. I love it. Hey, my TC After Dark this week is questions and answers on Thanksgiving, making like a Thanksgiving meal with the food recipes editor for the Washington Post, who is fantastic. She is so lively and fun, and we had a great conversation.
I just want turkey, white meat, please. I just want mashed potatoes, stuffing, corn, and cranberry and gravy. But that's it. I don't want any of the other side dishes, just that.
And
That's it.
And your stuffing is, fun with like
My mom's.
oysters and sausage.
No, what? Oysters? You think my mom ever put oysters?
I'm just asking
No.
for a friend.
Gotta put oysters
God,
in it.
no.
Thank you,
100%.
Dan.
Jesus.
Eastern Shore of Maryland guy
Love
here.
it.
Gotta put oysters in your stuffing.
Oh, that
Thank
was
you.
fun. That's fun. Hey, I love the cartoon in today's newsletter. It's really, really great. Check that out from Steve Breen. A lot of people last night excited about their Smercomics. Needless to say, people who came out to Stories and Cigars with
We're
Smerconish
into
at
that.
Parks Casino are a hardcore,
That's 150 copies right there.
eagerly, and then some, eagerly waiting, their copy of Smercomics. So
Yeah, that's
anyway,
very, very cool.
I'm signing off. I give you all a tip of my Detroit Lions cap from a fun night at Parks last night. To be continued. I think I'm gonna have. There's something there.
Okay,
There's
I love
something
it.
there. See you, gang.
Sorry, Dan, I didn't see that you needed me to because I was told